This is the feedback one. Okay, this is the email ID. You can send it. If the code, if you get some problem, okay, while doing practice or something, okay, just send your code to this email ID. I will check and let you know. Okay, that is inside feedback. Okay, where we stopped yesterday? Can anyone? Where we stopped? Where we stopped yesterday? Okay, we completed how to insert the data. Okay, how to insert the data within the MySQL table. That part completed. Now you return one more endpoint also for what? To retrieve the data. To retrieve the data. Okay, to retrieve the data. We created one more endpoint also to retrieve the data. So can we go to MySQL first? Okay, my voice is audible, right? Yeah, Satya Rena, you should have to check from your end. This is audible to the MySQL. Okay, see here. You return one more endpoint. This is one more endpoint to retrieve the data or not. Yeah. If you want to retrieve the data, as usual, you establish the connection. Here, data is not required, so that I didn't take any data. Establish the connection. That connection is like correct or not. I checked here. If the connection is established, then the time I created one query. Okay, that query I retrieved. That means that query I executed. Once that query successfully completed or failure, whatever it is, if the error is there, I send the error back. If it is like a success, I send the success message back or not. Okay. The first part is like server side part completed. Now, as a server side guy, what is your responsibilities? Tell me, server side guy responsibilities. Once your endpoint is ready, what you have to do from your end as a server side guy? Can anyone who knows about the URL and method? Who knows about the URL and method? Who knows? Who prepared the URL and method? The URL prepared by my server side guy. My method also decided by server side guy. This URL and method, my server side guy has to send to my client side person or not. Then only, right? My client side guy, by using that URL and method, he can send one request to the server or not. If the client side person don't know about the URL and method, how he can send the request to the server by using an AJAX? Why? Because if you want to send an AJAX request, the mandatory things are what? URL and method. The optional thing is like data. Sometimes maybe data is there, sometimes may not be. Yes or no? So that as a server side guy, you completed your endpoint. Already you tested also. Okay, how you tested? Okay, localhost 2020. This is my question, that question. Okay, if I click like this, then that time one request go to the server. This is the response you got it or not. That means as a server side guy, you can confirm like, yes, my endpoint is working as expected. Only get URLs only we can test it in the browser. If it is like a post URL, how we can test? If it is like a post method, how we can test? If it is like a put method, how we can test? Okay, yes, we have some tools are there. One is like advanced REST client, the other one is like Postman. Okay, by using that one, we can test it. Okay, Postman is the software, you can install it. Advanced REST client is like a app to my Google Chrome browser. Okay, this is my advanced REST client. If I click on this, okay, just click on this one. Okay, now the GUI representation, this looks like this. Just wait, yes. If you want to test any type of request method, you can use. Okay, here you can simply write like get question. Now at the time of clicking on send button, okay, see this, all your data, whatever the data is there inside that particular table, you get this data or not. As a server side guy, you can confirm like what? Yes, my endpoint is working as expected. If my endpoint is working as expected, then you can send this URL and method to my client, and you can ask the client, hey, this endpoint is up and running. You can try to send the request request to this particular endpoint and get the data. Whatever you want, you can do it. Okay, like this, you have to send one mail to your client or not. Okay, that mail contains this information. The mail is like this. My server side guy send a communication mail to my client side person. Okay, that mail contains what? Okay, whatever he tested, just he is going to send the data. That's it. My URL is this one. My URL is what? This one. So that URL is this one. And my request method is what? Get method. Request method is get method. Here in this case, my data, no data, nothing. Okay, my output is like what? My output is like, if you want to send, this is your expected output. Like this, you can copy this one. Okay, you can copy it, you can paste that output here. Okay, like this, you can send one mail to my client side person. Okay, who sends? My server side guy. My server side guy send mail to my client side developer. My client side developer. Okay, once my client side developer receives this mail, he starts work from his end or not, client side end or not. So you are the server side guy, you completed. Now you turn to be a client side person. Now, as a client side developer, what you are going to do? As a client side developer, what you have to do? As a client side developer, what we have to do? Okay, our requirement is what? Our requirement is what? Can anyone guess? Our requirement is, say this. At the time of click on end to end, at the time of click on end to end, here, this is my form is like displayed. It's okay, fine, expected only. This form is displayed. Before this form, okay, after this form, below this particular form, I want to display these questions in the tabular format. That's it. That's my requirement. If you want to display these questions in this tabular format, first of all, questions required, right? Where my questions are? My questions are inside the table, okay, database table. So that if you want to get the data from the table, already my server side guy created one endpoint already shared with you, so that you have to send one request to the server or not. You have to send one request to this particular endpoint URL or not. Once you get this endpoint URL, okay, once you get that particular data, then you can insert, okay, you can prepare the data inside this table. Okay, that you can prepare the table with this data or not. Okay, so at first time load only, I want to get the data from the database table or not. At first time load, if you want to send one AJAX request, which place is the right place? Already we discussed that one. At first time load, if you want to send one AJAX request, which place is the right place to send that request? Which place is the right place to write that code? Okay, now AJAX request at first time load. Okay, how many methods are going to execute? At first time load, how many methods are going to execute? 4 methods are going to execute. What are those? My constructor. Okay, the next one is what? Get derived state from props. Next render. The next one is like what? Component. Okay, did mount. Component did mount. See here. Which place is the right place? Means, for example, if you write the AJAX request here, AJAX request is nothing but you send a request to a server which is out of your mission. For example, 5 minutes it's taken. Then the time, this is also wait, this also wait, this is also wait. My render method not executed is nothing but what? A blank page is visible to the end user. Is it the recommended way? Is it the recommended way to show the blank page to the end user? Okay, at least you should have to show this page, right? This data is loading. It takes some time. At least you should have to show this page. You should have to show here one message like is loading, okay, loading message or not, like this. If you write this particular code in the constructor, then get derived state from prop also not executed, render also not executed, this is also not executed. So my render not executed is nothing but what? Whatever the content is there, that content will never execute or not. Will never execute or not. So that is my construct is the right place to write this piece of code. It takes 5 minutes in the remote. These all wait for 5 minutes. Okay, now 5 minutes for what? Table data. But this particular data is not depending upon table data, right? Why I need to stop this data to render? should not stop or not. Okay, then next, do you want me to write this piece of code here? Okay, if you write this piece of code here itself, okay, after 5 minutes only my render method is going to execute, right? And one more thing, my get_derivative state from prop is going to execute for every state change, so that if you write this piece of code here, okay, any state changes happen, again Ajax request is going, any state changes happen, okay, again Ajax request is going to the server or not. It's not a recommended place. Do you want me to write in the render method? If you write in the render method, then what happens? My render also execute for every state change and prop change or not. Then the time any state changes happen, again my Ajax request go to the server or not. Do you want me to send Ajax request every time? Only first time load only. Only first time load. So that this is also not the recommended place. So finally, which place is the recommended? It's finally my component 𝕨𝕚𝕥𝕚 is the recommended place or not? Agreed? Yes or no? Okay, so that can we write that component 𝕨𝕚𝕥 here? Can we write that component 𝕨𝕚𝕥? Component 𝕨𝕚𝕥 here. I want to write one Ajax request. I want to write one Ajax request. So Ajax request, okay, represents what? Get the data, get the questions data. That particular functionality I want to use multiple places, so that can we create one separate function? Which function? Function get questions. Okay, this particular function I want to call at first time load, so that can be called like this. One separate method I'm writing. Okay, okay, this is the method. Can we bind your data? Can we bind your current object? How we can write it? This dot function get questions. This dot function get questions dot bind of your current object or not. Okay, now here you have to get the questions or not. Okay, if you want to get the questions, you have to send the request to the server. How we can send the request to the server? Okay, by using an Ajax technique. Already we used one of the Ajax techniques by creating an object for the XML HTTP request or not. Now we have one more method also there. Okay, that is like the predefined JavaScript method. Fetch is the method, fetch method. By using fetch method also, we can send the request to the server and get the response. So that how my fetch method is going to work means my fetch is a JavaScript method. Okay, which take, see this, okay, your URL as a argument. First one, what is my URL? Already my client side person receives the mail from the server side guy. Inside that one URL is there. Okay, this is my URL. And then okay, request information. Okay, some request information. Okay, that request information is like a method. Which method that is? Get is the method. By default it's a get method, so that no need. Okay, if you want to write, you can write it. Data, do you want me to pass any data here? Okay, there is no data, nothing. That is not a data. Body is the one. Body is the key. Okay, the key should not change. There is no data, nothing. There is no need to write. There is no need to write body. If you want to write body, you can write the data. What you want to pass, you can pass the data here. Headers, if you want to write, see this. Headers you can write like this. Headers you can write like this. These are not required in my case. Why? Because I don't want to send the data, as well as I don't want to set any headers or something. So that this is my fetch method. If you observe here, my fetch method, if you see this, my fetch method returns me what? My fetch method returns me a promise or not? Returns me a promise. My fetch method returns me what? A promise. So any method returns a promise. How we can handle it? By using then or not. By using then and catch. So here my fetch method returns me promise, so that I handle it then. Okay, it's a success callback. It gives me some response, some result, but this result is not like a JSON. It's a raw data. So can we convert into a JSON? So how we can means JSON, if the method is there, you can use that one. Now once you converted into expected format, return this one. Okay, this method returns your data, returns your response again in the promise only. Once again, this particular method returns a promise. Then how we can handle it? By using one more then or not. By using one more then. Now here you can get your final data. Can I put your console message here? My console.log of data. Okay, so that can I put the debugger here itself. Now can you check will it really working or not? Okay, inspect it. Can I refresh my page? Can I refresh my page? Okay, now see one request go to the server. Now can you come to this particular one? See my data. Yeah, this is only my data, right? This is only my data or not? Agreed or not? This is only my data. Yes or no? Okay, so if you come here, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these questions are there. These questions you have to display within the tabular format. Now come here. Okay, these are the different techniques. XML HTTP request is like one technique, fetch method is like one technique. That's it. Okay, most of the times we are going to use XML HTTP request. You have to create an object and you have to call the methods. But fetch method is a method directly we can call it. So better to go with fetch instead of XML HTTP request. Now I have the data here now. Once you have the data, this is my data. If it is my data, this is the local for this particular method, but that data I want in the render method. Then how we can share this data? By using one of the variable like this. But which variable? This you want me to use or this dot state means my data keep on changing. Okay, now 5 questions. If I add one more question, then the time 6 questions has to show within the table. My data keep on changing or not? Then you should have to go with a state variable or not. So that can we go with the state variable like questions? My questions is like empty. Once you get these questions, can we update that questions? So how we can this dot my set state my questions equals to my data or not? Okay, if it is like a failure, then that time my catch method is going to execute. If it is like a failure, my questions are like simply you can put like an image. Finally, I have the data there inside this state variable. Finally, I have the data inside this state variable. So once you have the data inside the state variable, can we display the data inside my table? So can we create the table now? Okay, where you want me to create? Inside here, e2e.jsx, just create the table. Okay, now I don't want to create directly here. Can we create one simple component? Inside my table, I don't want to perform any operation, just view purpose only. Then can we go with what? Can we go with a functional component? Write one simple functional table component here. New file. Okay, here you can write like my table.js. Okay, create one functional component. So how we can import my React from where? From my React. And then constant my table component is this one. Okay, return one div and close my div. Now this is my table component. Just you can place your table data here. So can we export it? Export default my table. Now this table I want here after this button, so that can we import it? So how we can import my table from where? Within the same folder my table is the file, so that this is my table or not. This is my table. Now if you come here, you can see this table. Yes. Okay, instead of this SSS, you should have to create the table or not. If you want to create a table, data is required. Where is my data? Inside my state variable. This is my data or not? This is my data. Inside my state variable, this is my data. So that this data can be passed to my table component. Okay, my table is the children to my E2E component. You can pass it. So how we can pass it? My data equals to, this dot state dot, this is my data or not? Okay, now my data go to my table component. My table is like which type of component? It's like a functional component, so that my data is coming like what? As a argument. Which format? That is a object format so that this is my data or not. Okay, just destructuring this particular object. I destructuring this particular object. Okay, once you have the data, you can do any operation. So how we can write that operation? Okay, just you have to create your table rows by using the data. Now write the table. My table, so give some border. My border equals to 2 pixels. My table contains what? My table row. Okay, first one is like table row. Okay, table headings. How many headings you want? Based on your data, you can say. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want overall 8 headings. I want. So that write that 8 headings. What one is like ID. Like this, you can write like 8 headings. The next one is what? Question. The next one is like option 1. Okay, like this, how many options are there? Option 2, option 3, option 4. Okay, the next one is like answer. Okay, the next one is like what? Answer. The next one is like type. The next one is like type. Answer. The next one is like type. Done. This is my table. The next one. This is like heading. The next one is like what? I have the data. With the data, what you have to do? With the data, you have to prepare remaining rows or not. Okay, within this data, how many area of objects are there? That many rows you have to create. So can we repeat that one? Okay, my data dot map is the method. My data dot map is the method, which gives me what? One obj or not? One object and index. Okay, with this object, what you have to prepare? With this object, you have to prepare one tr or not? Okay, so that can we prepare one tr. Now return tr. Return tr. That tr contains how many tds? These many tds you have to create td. Okay, here I have to put it this one way because I want to use like only one type. If it's like a reusable component, you know already. Okay, so that here my obj dot, this is my object. How we can get the data? ID is the my key. Okay, like this, how many you want? The next one. It's like a QUE, and it's like what? OPT1. It's like OPT2. Okay, like this. 4 more options are there. Okay, the next one is like OPT3. Okay, the next one is like OPT4. OPT4. Okay, here my answer you have to write ANS. And the next one is like you have to write like your type. You have to write like your type. Done. Which one is repeating? This one is repeating, right? So that you can write like my key equals to index. Yes. Done. Now when you come here at first time load, yes. They will displaying like this or not. At first time load, say this. Or no. Okay. If I refresh my page, one request go to the server and it gives me the response or not. See, if I refresh the page, this one is not affected. Okay, only one request go to the server. After that, only this response came or not. Okay, between I want to show one loading text. Okay, I want to show one loading text. Then how we can show the loading text? How we can show the loading text? If the data my request go to the server, then the time you should have to start your loading. Once my request got completed, then the time you should have to stop that loading or not. Like this, you have to write the code. Now, can you come here in this table.js, e2g.js. Okay, here first is loading. One flag you can take it. Is loading. By default, what? False. By default, false. When you want to show the loading text, at the time of sending the request to server, just before sending the request to server, here you can write like my this dot set state, my is loading is like what? Is loading is like true. Okay. Now once you send the request server, you get the response. Either it's like a success or failure. my is loading should be what? False or not. That time I don't want to show that loading. Okay, false. Now based on this flag, can we show that text here? In this particular E to E JSX, this table when you want me to show, whenever my is loading is like false, then only you should have to show it or not. So that here you can show one text. This dot state dot is loading is true, then that time you have to show this loading text. Okay, otherwise you should have to show this particular table or not, like this. Okay, now you have to write one more condition. What is this condition? Now from here, now see, there has is loading text. It's visible immediately. It's readable or not once you get this data. Okay, now I'm going to write one more question here. Okay, who is the okay, this is my question. Convert that to mode. Okay, the answer is here. Now, at the time of, it's a single one only. At the time of clicking on this particular submit button, okay, at the time of clicking on this particular submit button, this question is going to insert within the database. Okay, now whatever the database data is there, that data has to show immediately, has to reflect within my table. Like that, you have to write the code. See here, this is the one. If I click on the submit, inserted successfully. My question inserted successfully. If I click on OK, now see my question not displayed here. The latest question not updated within the table. If I refresh my page, then only it got updated or not. See here, then only it got updated or not. I don't want like that. If it is successfully inserted, then that time my table should have to update. By default. Then how we can write the code? Can anyone guess? Then how we can write that code? Okay, you can write like this. Now see, this is the one, right? Where you find like it's like successfully inserted. See, inserted successfully or not? If it is successfully inserted, can you do one thing? Can we call one of the methods called as a function get questions? If I call this method, okay, then this method is going to execute. It's going to send one request to the server and get the updated records, and then that updated records we are going to put to my table or not. That's the reason I created a separate method. At first time load also I want to call it. If it is like successfully inserted also I want to call it. Okay, done. Now if you come here, okay, write one more question. Okay. Answer is what? See. It's a single answer. Can I click on submit now? So click on submit, inserted successfully. Now see this. Working as expected or not? Yes or no? Okay. Now, can we do one thing? This is my end-to-end. Okay. This is my quiz, right? This is my quiz. Quiz.js. So far, you hard coded this data. Can we get the data from my database now? Understand? The next requirement, can we get this data from the database? Okay, what changes you want me to do? What changes you want me to do? What changes you want me to do? Can we do one thing? Can we create one more component like this two? This two. Inside that component, can we do? Okay. I don't want to touch this one. Just create one more component like this two. Okay, write it. Okay, now create one more component. Source. Okay, create react component. Component. Okay, okay. Click on this. Click on this. Then can we add one more tab? Where you want it to add? In my menu.jsx. Here I want to add it. So can we get that one first? Can we get it? How we can get it? Constant my quiz2 lazy is the method which take one callback function as an argument. You can import your component from where? From my quiz2 folder. Index is my file. Index is my file. Okay, here and write this. Okay, done. Now this is the one, it's okay, fine. This is the one. The next one is like here you have to change. Here you have to change. What do you want me to do the change? Okay, here this is my quiz2. This is my quiz2. And my and2, and you can remove it. Okay, this is my quiz2 or not. Done. Now can you come here? Can you check? Can you save all these things? Okay, E2 will not change this. This is the one. Okay. Now here I want to write the code. Now how many questions are there in your database? How many questions are there inside the database? Inside the database, how many questions are there? Okay, 7 or 8 questions are there. Okay, 7 questions are there. But my test is for only 5 questions. My test is for only 5 questions. So that different people are going to write the test. Okay, so that my question should be jumbling like randomly has to pick the questions from the database. Randomly has to pick the questions from the database. Now if we come to the school and these are my questions. These are my questions. Okay, total 7 questions are there. I want to pick the questions randomly. Okay, how we can pick the questions randomly means select the star from questions. Okay, limit is that limit 5 if you put like limit 5, then that time just it's going to give like first 5 questions always. First 5 questions always. But that question should come like random. Should come like random. Then ignore all. This is the one. The method is that random. Okay. ISPL 40. Random. RIND is the one. Select star from table. Order by rank. Order by rank. Now, can you come here? Can you go here? Order by rank. Now, can I click on this? Yeah, see this. React DOM dot render 54283. Okay, 54283 is my question ID, and this one. Okay, 45382. 382. Okay, now I want to execute this particular query now to run your, okay, to start your this two. I want to pick the questions randomly. 100 questions are there. I want to pick the questions randomly for 20 questions. My test is like 20 questions. Different people has these questions like different questions. Okay, side by side, it should not be the same. Now this is my query. So that can we write an endpoint for this particular query to get these questions? Can we write one more endpoint? Can we write one more endpoint, okay, for this particular query execution? Okay, the thing is 7 questions are there. 7 questions are there. I want to get all the questions. Then the time select start from questions. I want to get only 5 questions. First 5 questions. Limit 5 you can put it. But my requirement is I want to pick the questions in random order. So that order by rand. Okay, this is the one. If you put like this, okay, random you can get like 5 questions. That is the one. Random you can get like 5 questions. So copy this one. Okay, you can write one endpoint. Now go to my question. So how many endpoints are completed now so far? 2 endpoints done. Okay, can we create one more endpoint? Okay, how we can create? My router dot retrieving. Okay, then which method you want me to use? Get, post, put to delete. Which method you want me to use? Okay, you can use post method also, no problem at all. But recommended method is like a get method. So that is get. Okay, get questions. Okay, for test. For test. This is my URL. You can write the function. Okay, this is my callback function. Anybody hit this particular URL, okay, this method is going to execute it. That means yes, my request was received. Okay, any data is required to take the, any data is required for this particular endpoint. Are you expecting any data? Okay, do you want me to take the data? Okay, no, right? No. Okay, now come here. This is the code series. This pod is there, right? This pod and this pod and this pod. These all are like what? Hard-coded values or not? Okay, you repeated multiple times or not? You should not repeat. You should have right only one time. Okay, you can reuse it. Reuse it. Okay, that one I will tell. Okay, for our practice, just you can write for now. So how you can create? How you can create? Where my connection equals to in my MySQL, there has one method is there create connection is the method. Which take your connection related information. What is that? One is like host name, like where my server is running inside my local. With which port number? With which port number it's running? 3306 is my port number. Okay, what is my username? My root is my username. What is my password? I didn't give. For my inside my local machine, I didn't give any name, any password for this particular database. The next one is like my database. What is my database? My database is like this. Who is my database or not? This is my information. This information is correct or not? I want to test it. So how we can? With this information, can we connect? While connecting, how much time it will take, I don't know. So that this connect method asks like one callback function. You can give it. I can call this callback function once my task is completed. If it is like a success, if it is like a failure, okay, like this, it's going to pass like 2 arguments. If the connection is not established to give this data, then the time my error has some data. If my connection is established, then the time my success has some data. So that you can write one if condition. If error is there, that means error has some data. That means there is an error. So that can we send DB connection error. That can we send the message like this. If error is not this, error is not there is nothing but what? That is like success only or not. So you can execute the query. Which query you want me to execute? Already my query is this one. So that can we get that query. Yeah. This is my query or not. Okay, done. This is my query. Once my query is ready, then what is the next one? You have to execute this query. How we can? My connection dot query, my query comma, this is my function, open one and close one. Okay. Once my query is executed, how much time it will take, I don't know. As well as it's like a success or failure also, I don't know. So that my query asks like one more callback function as an argument. Okay, that way also pass. Okay, if it is like a successfully completed, okay, then the time I will place some data inside R. Okay, or success. If it is like a failure, I will place some data inside my E. First argument, second argument. If error has some data, then send the data to the client. Either success or failure, you have to send the data to my client or not. Otherwise, you can send the data to my that client. Success response. It's a failure one, it's a success one. Now, can we test it? Can we test this one? By using advanced REST client, can we test it? Yes. Okay. 26457. Okay. 24538. Okay. Randomly speaking or not? Yes or no? Okay. Yes. My endpoint is ready now. My endpoint is ready. Next. Whatever the things are there, just copy paste from your quiz to this one. Okay. Where is this one? Okay. This is the one, right? Okay. From here, I want to copy. So really, if you understand, okay, the topics what we discussed, I want to reuse this one. I want to reuse it. Okay, this I want to reuse there itself, here itself. I don't want to copy this one and that one. Okay, the same questions I don't want to copy here, there. Okay, can anyone tell me how we can reuse it? How we can reuse it? Hmm? The same, right? You have right there itself. Okay, that requirement may be different. That requirement may be different. Okay, see this. Try to understand it. Create one more. Quiz one. Create one more component. Quiz one. Okay, go to your menu.js. This quiz is there, right? Okay, make it as like quiz one. Okay, this is my quiz one. This is my quiz two. Yes. Okay, done. Now see how it looks like. Now go here. This is my quiz one, and this is my quiz two. Quiz one and quiz two. Done. Quiz one have some fixed questions, 5 questions. 5 questions. Quiz two has some questions which is coming from database. First of all, get the questions. Okay. So for my quiz one, where is my questions? My quiz one questions are this. Inside the quiz.js, these are my questions or not. So can we cut it first? Okay, these are my questions. These are my questions. See, my quiz is not loaded at this point of time. Okay, quiz one, quiz two loaded. Quiz I'm not loaded. Okay, we'll load later. This is my questions. So that these questions for what? Quiz one. So that go to my quiz1.js. Just keep these questions inside the constructor. Inside the constructor. Yes, these are my questions. For what? Quiz one. Quiz two, can we get the questions? For quiz two, can I get the questions? Okay, for quiz 2, from where you want me to get the questions? This is my quiz 2. From where you want me to get the questions? Quiz 2, from where you want me to get it? Okay, from your database or not. Okay, so that first time load, I want that questions. How we can get it? Write one constructor. Open x.state equals to my questions. My questions is like empty. So that can we write one component it mount, okay, lifecycle method. From here, can we get that questions? From here, can we get that questions? So here itself, right? Function get questions. Only one time only I want to use, then that time directly you can write here, no problem at all. Instead of writing one method. There 2 times I want to use, so that I created a separate method. Here you can write it. If you want to send a request by using fetch method, can we send it? Okay, how we can send it? Okay, now this is my URL. This is my URL. Yes, this is my URL. Can we copy this one? See this URL also every time. This is like a hard-coded value. Okay, every time it's like a common one. Up to here common. Still we are writing multiple times. How to use? We'll see later. Fetch. And then it's like a configuration information. It's like a method. It's like which method? Get method. So this is my get method. My fetch method returns me what? A promise. So that can be write like that. Can be write like that. It returns me what? Some data with raw data. So that you have to convert it into JSON. Okay, that JSON method is going to return the result, actual result with promise again. So that if it's like a promise, then can we handle with the then and catch. Can we handle with then and catch. Okay, now this is my final data. This is my final data. Once you get this data, can we update this data inside my state variable? How we can update? This dot my set state, my questions is like what? My data or not? Okay, here my questions is like what? Here my questions is like empty or not. If it's like a fake, done. Finally, you get these questions. Okay, here also questions ready, and my quiz one also questions ready. Questions ready. The next one. Can anyone guess? Can anyone guess what is the next one? Okay, now here only, right? You are preparing your quiz and everything based on your questions, Here only you prepared or not. So that if you want to prepare, first of all, can you load this quiz? Can we load this particular quiz component in the quiz one and quiz two? Okay, load it. How we can load? Can anyone tell? First of all, get this. This is my quiz one. Where is my quiz one? This is my quiz one. Quiz one.jsx. Here, can we load your quiz component? How we can import my quiz from where? From my quiz index. Just make it work first. Now this is my quiz. Can we load it? Can we load it? Now I want to pass the data. From my quiz one. Okay, I have this data. Can we pass this data to my quiz one? Okay, here this is my data. From my quiz one, you have to pass the data to my quiz or not. So how we can pass it? Just simply you can pass like this. My questions equals to this dot questions. My questions equals to this dot questions. These are my questions. So now my questions go to quiz component. My questions go to my quiz component. So that can you go to my quiz component? Where you are using questions, can you check? Okay, these questions where you are using, this dot questions where you are using, this dot questions. See here, here you are using, right? So now my this dot questions is not my own member. It's like a prop. So that can be take like a props. This dot props. Okay, any other is there? Not there. In the quiz.jsx, can you check how many places are there? Yes, here one place is there. Props. That's it. Yes or no? Okay, done. Now the same thing can we apply for my quiz 2 also. First, can we get the quiz? Import my quiz from where? From my quiz index. Okay, this is my quiz. Can we load it now? My quiz, my questions. My questions equals, where is my question? This dot state dot my questions or not. This dot state dot my questions. That's it. Now can we check now? Will it work as expected or not? Okay. Must call super constructor in the derived class. This returns. Okay, where is this? Like this one. This one. Okay, constructor super is not there. Super is not there. Yes. So this is my quiz one. This is my quiz one. And this is my quiz 2. This is my quiz 2. Now see this. Okay, here the problem. What is my problem here? Okay, randomly these questions are coming, right? Okay, randomly. Okay, but this ID you have to change it. This ID you should have to change it. How we can change that one? It's not a matter. Okay, see this here. If you observe the questions one, it's submitted. See this submitted. It's also fine. If you observe the questions one, my ID is like a hard-coded value. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. But if you come to my questions is 2, it's like a random value. So that 5, 8. It's not a correct way, right? It's not a recommended one. Okay, recommended way. Why? Because my questions are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. Okay, like this only. So that what code change you want me to do means go to my quiz one. Okay, this is only right. Okay, this is only the one. Okay, to display your question numbers. Here, don't take like an object ID. Don't take like an ID. Here, just take an index. Index is nothing but what 0, 1, 2, 3 point start or not. Just take index now. Index. If I take index, it's going to start like this. Now say this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Here also it's going to start like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Do you want to start with 0? No. Okay. Add plus 1. Add plus 1. Okay. Now say this 1, 2, 3. Okay. Here also 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now can we remove this? Okay. Can we remove this one? Now say this. It's working as expected or not? Okay. If you come here, who is the prime minister? If we come back, we come here. Okay, how to update the variable? We come here, how to update the state variable? You come here and come here. How many medals won in India? Okay, it's like what? Completely different values or not. Okay, if you write something like this, React don't undertake how many arguments? Okay, element, fallback, container reference. Who is the prime minister? Is like Modi. Okay, 3 questions I answered. Okay, so score is like 0. Why it's like 0? I have to check it. Okay, these all are like right answers only, right? Yes or no? Like this one, can you check? Will it work or not? How to represent the data which is coming from outside by using false. Below, which are the life cycle methods? Component did mount and component will not. How to update the state variable by using set state method. React dot round under which T is correct. Okay, now it's working as expected, but here it's not working. Why it's not working? We have to test. We have to check it. Now, can you check? This is my data format, right? This is my data format. This is the format, same format only we are using here itself. Okay, in my quiz 1.js, if you see this one, ID, okay, questions, okay, option 1, option 2, and option 3, and option 4, ANS, and type. Okay, it should work. It should work. Because both are like same only, right? Okay, let's see this. This is 2.js, right? This is the one. When you want me to show this, please. When you want me to load this one, this two. When you want me to load it, can anyone guess? When you want me to load it? When you want me to load it? Once you get the data from the database, then only or not. Then only you have to load it or not. So that here, my quiz 2, my questions are like empty, don't load. Okay, whenever you get the questions, then only you can load it. Okay, so how we can? Okay, right here. My quiz dot state dot my questions dot length is greater than 0, then only you can load it. Then only you can load it. Okay, now come here. Now say this. Okay, this is the one forward and quiz 1. Okay, quiz 2. This is my quiz 2. How many medals won? Okay, 7 medals. Okay, who is the prime minister? Modi. How many types of components are there? Okay, 2 components. Okay, now how to represent the data which is coming from outside? Props. React down.render, which take common arguments. Okay, I'm not doing this one. Okay, so that 4 answers should have to come. Yes, so score is like 4. Okay, all are right only or not? 7 and Modi and this one working as expected or not? Okay, what happened in the past? Why it feels like 0? Can anyone guess? What happened in the past? Okay, why you know? In the quiz.js, if you observe, in the component did mount, you are preparing what? Your key. You are preparing your key. Okay, here, if you not write this condition, at the first time load, only my this is going to load, my component mode is going to execute it. At first time load only. If it is loading at first time load, my questions are like what? Empty. Questions are like empty. After some time, right? My questions are like what? After some time, my questions are like 5 or 10, whatever it is. So that if my questions are like empty, then that time my quiz.js component mode is going to execute it. With that particular one questions is empty, it's going to prepare your key. Okay, after some time, my 5 questions are going to execute it. My 5 questions came, then that time my render method is going to execute, but my component mode is going to execute only one time. So that once I have the questions, then only you can load it. Then that time my questions are there, you're preparing your key or not. That is the problem in the past. Understand or not? But and one more thing here, some extra things I want here. At the time of clicking on the quiz 2, I don't want to write, I don't want to show directly this one. I don't want to show directly this one. First of all, I want to ask a name. I want to ask his name. Okay, who write the test? Who want to write the test? Once he enter the name, if I click on the submit, then only you should have to allow him to write this test. Once he submit this particular one, that particular data, okay, that particular data has to save within the database. That is our requirement. Okay, that is our requirement. This will not impact our quiz 1 because this is my box 1. Okay, set state. Okay, the next one is the common types of components. Okay, two types. Okay, 3 questions, 3 answers right. So that my result should be 3. It's not impact. Why? Because already data is there. Already data is there. Or the data is like how to put it. Okay, like that. So can we write in a quiz2.jsx, quiz2.jsx? Here what first? First of all, I want a name. Who want to write the test? I want the name. Who want to write the test? Okay, done. The next one. What is the next one? Can anyone guess? Here, write one button. Write one button. Submit. Submit. Okay, here write on click. On equals to this dot function click dot by of this. This is my function click. You just write this. This is my function click. Now where is my quiz 2? This is my quiz 1. This is my quiz 2 series. Now you should not show this particular quiz component. Whenever it's like empty, you should not show. When you have to show, he entered some data, like test ID, want to write the test. If I click on the submit button, okay, then only this should be disabled and this should be enabled. Okay, like toggle. Okay, first time you should have to load this one. Once you enter the name, if I click on submit, then only you should have to load this one. Like this, I want to show. That's my requirement. So can anyone guess how we can do it? Okay, right. Now this is my state. Okay, first is test. Okay. Is test order is like a false. Just started is like false. Okay. 1 minute. Yeah, I'm back. Is test stored by default false. Okay. When it should be true, whenever he entered the name and click on submit button, then only that test should have to display. Okay, test should have to start. So based on this one, can we write one ternary operator? Okay, how we can write it? This one and this one. This one and this one should be like what? This one and this one should be like target. So can we write it? Okay, how we can write? My this dot state dot is test started. Is test started. Is like true. Is test started is like true. Okay, then that time I want to show one thing. Then that time I want to show this thing. I want to show this thing. Otherwise, I want to show this one. Otherwise, I want to show this one. That's it. So this. My this dot state dot is test started by default false. If it is like false, if it's true, this one. If it is like false, this one is going to execute. Now only text box is going to execute. Yes. If I click on the submit, okay, then the time. If I click on the submit, then the time, my this dot set the state is test started is like true. Is test started is like true. Now, if I click on the submit, yes, my test has to start. My test has to start. Once it is started, okay, no one will stop. Now, okay, the thing is, come here, click on quiz 2. If he not enter any name, then do you want me to allow him? He should not. So, can we do one thing? Right. First, I want to take the data from this particular text box. How we can take the data from the text box? Only one text box is there. Can we take like this? Name. Okay, now come here. How we can? Let my name equals to this dot name dot value. Name dot value. If name not there, can you give the alert like please enter name? Yeah, don't do anything. Don't do anything. If I click on this one, please enter name. Don't do anything. If he enters some name, if the name is there, okay, then that time can we assign? I don't want to keep this one in the left way because I want to save this data at the time of clicking on the submit button. Okay, I want to save this data so that what we have to do is here can we use inside my this? Can we use inside my current object this? Okay, this dot name. Okay, now the name is there, no problem at all. If the name is not there, then the time you have to give one message. Now here my name is like such in. If I click on the submit button, my name stored within the this dot name. Now my test got submitted. Okay, so this is my test, this is my test. Okay, this is the one and this is the one. If I click on the submit button, then what we have to do? Can anyone guess? If I click on the submit button, what we have to do? If I click on the submit button, whatever you get the marks, okay, that marks, okay, already he entered the name, right? His name, his marks, and the date has to store within my database. Okay, his name, his marks, how much he scored, on which date he read the test, that date I want to store within the database. That's my requirement. But the submit button handling and everything where it is, my submit button handling and everything where it is, the submit button handling and everything where it is, that is inside my quiz component or not in the quiz 1 or quiz 2. That is the common one, quiz component or not. Okay, here I don't want to save. In the quiz 1, I don't want to save. It's like a hard-coded one. If this requirement is something different. Quiz 2 requirement is something different. Then how we can handle it? Here, I want like save the data. There, I don't want to save it. Okay, my submit button is common for that one and this one. If I write that code, which code? Saving code inside the submit button, then what happens? That is applicable for this also. Then in this case, how we can handle it? Can anyone guess? my saving only specific to quiz2, not quiz1. Specific to quiz2. That means that code should have to write inside quiz2 only or not. Agreed? Agreed with the first statement. The saving only specific to quiz2 is nothing but that code you have to write inside the quiz2 only. Inside the quiz2 only. Where is my quiz2? Here itself you have to write your saving thing or not. So that if you want to write some saving related functionality, there you can write. One function is required, right? One method is required, right? So that function is submitted. Okay, or function save results. Okay, function save results. This method has to call when? Has to call when? At the time of submitting. At the time of submitting your test or not. Okay, my submit button is inside my quiz component. Okay, my submit button inside my quiz component. Here. Okay, my method, one of the method is inside my quiz2 component. What is the relation between quiz and quiz2? What is the relation between quiz and quiz2? My quiz2 is my parent, my quiz is my children or not. So that can we call my parent method from my children? Yes, we can call it through callbacks or not. You can give one method to my children is going to call that method or not. So can we give that method to my children? Okay, here you can give it. Here you can give it. Okay, which method you want me to give? Function. Okay. From here, this is the method, save results method I want to give. Okay, how we can give one method like this only or not? What is my key? Any key you can put. Any key. Okay. Function save results. Function save results. Now, my quiz component. Okay, see this. My quiz component. Take how many props? 2 props. One is like questions prop. Another one is like function save results prop. So that now go to this data. Go to your quiz component. Okay. So far you use which one? This dot prop dot questions used. At the time of clicking on the submit button, can we call it this dot props dot function save results like this? If you call this one function save results, then the time it's going to call this particular method or not? Function save results called or not? Yes or no? I given this method to this particular quiz one. Inside the quiz, I am going to call again or not? Inside my quiz component, I am calling again or not? I am calling again like this when? At the time of submitting. One second. I'm back. Now see this. Okay, this is the method you are calling. When at the time of clicking on the submit button. It's okay, fine. But this method, when you pass it, in which component you passed this method? Okay, who want to save the result? That guy only passed or not? Who want to save the result? My question 2 component want to save the result, so that I passed. Okay, I passed like this. My quiz one don't want to save, so that we didn't pass that one. Then that time it is going to work for what? It's going to work for quiz 2. For my quiz 1, it throws an error or not. See this. If I click on the submit, okay, it gives me an error or not. This dot pops dot fsr is not a function. Okay, it's going to work for what? It's going to work for this. If I click on this one, yes, it's called. So you should have to call when this method. You should have to call when this method. When this method has to call who passed this method. Okay, that one. Okay, can that time only you should have to call this method or not? If anybody pass this method, then only you can call it. How we can write the condition? If the method is there, then only call it. Otherwise, don't call it. In my props, FSR is there, then only call it. Otherwise, don't call it. Okay. Now see this. This one. Okay. Now if I click on submit, there is no problem at all. Okay. These two I passed so that here also there is no problem at all. It's called or not. Yes. Okay. Now this method called. If this method is called, is nothing but what internally this method called. If you want to save the results, what is required? Name is required. Already name is there. Okay. The next one, date. Today's date I can take it from the JavaScript. But mocks, where you decide the mocks again, you decided the mocks, you calculate the mocks here itself or not. These are my mocks or not. So that can we pass the mocks as an argument? Can we pass the mocks as an argument? So no. Can we pass the mocks as an argument? So that if all these FSR is nothing but internally you are calling what? Internally you are calling this particular method. You are calling this particular method by passing your mocks as an argument or not. By passing your mocks as an argument. So that I have the mocks, I have the name. Anyway, my name I stored within my current object. This is nothing but it's a shareable one, and I have the data object. Okay, date object. Okay, date, current date. So that can we store this data? Can we prepare one object? Can we prepare one object? How we can? Where or let my data object equals to send to the server. Okay, my mocks equals to mocks. Okay, you can put like mocks equals to mocks, and then my name equals to what? This dot name. Okay, my current date. Okay, date equals to new date. Okay, today's date. That's it. Okay, done. This is my data object. You have to save within my MySQL database or not. Okay, where you want me to store within my MySQL. Okay, if you want to store this one, okay, one more table is required or not? Okay, the questions table we are not able to save, right? Okay, so can we create one more table? Like you can create any number of tables, no problem at all. Can we create one more table? Okay, create. Okay, I want to create one more table like a result. Results. Okay, first ID, auto implemented, you can put it. If it is required or not required, it's not a matter, just you can put it. Okay, here, his name. Where? Okay, his marks. Okay, string only, right? Okay. Date. I want to make it as like string. I don't have that much idea on the data. This one. Types. Okay. The name is like 50 characters. My marks is like 2 characters. The date is like 20 characters. Just take it. Now save. Now it's saved. Now it's saved. Okay, ignore. Now, how many tables are there? Total 2 tables are there. Now, at the time of clicking on the submit button, I want to save this data within my results table. That is my next requirement. That's our next requirement. So that if you want to perform some operation on this particular table, who can do? Who can connect? Is my client-side program can connect directly? No, right? Who can connect? My server side. My server side guy has to connect or not? So that he has to write one more endpoint or not? He has to write one more endpoint to save the results. So that can we write one more endpoint? Right. So for how many endpoints are completed? This one, like this multiple endpoints to completed or not? So can we write one more endpoint? Okay, write that one. Router dot. Which method is the recommended one? Can anyone guess? Which method is the recommended one? Insert a new record post method. Okay, save results. You can write your function. Open one and close one. Here it's like a request, comma response, comma next. Okay, the first one. Take the data. Okay, can we copy this one? These things. Okay, most of the times it's all the code data. Okay, right. Copy this one. What things are required? You can keep it. Remaining you can remove. I want to take the data. I want to take the data by using request body. I want to pass the data in the JSON object only, right? So that query parameter, nothing is there. Okay, the first one is like name. How we can pass the data? Request dot body dot. If you see this, you see this, you can understand. You are passing this object or not. So that what is my data? Mocks, name, and date is my key. So that you can use request.body.name. The next one is like mocks, and this one is like what? Mocks. The next one is like date, like no date. Okay, remove this. You've taken the data. The data is coming as part of request body in the form of JSON. Okay, establish the connection, check the connection. Now here you have to change something. What you have to change? Insert into where? Insert into results table. Insert into results. Okay, the next one. What you want me to insert? ID not required. ID not required. Name mocks date. Okay. One is like name. Another one is like mocks. Okay, another one is like date. Okay, remaining all you can. Remaining all you can. The values are what? The name. Another one is like mocks. Another one is like date. The remaining all you can do. Up to here you can do. That's done. Okay, and then you can execute your query and you can send a response back to my client or not. Back to my client. Okay, can we check now? Can we check now? Will it work or not? Okay, once complete your client side also. Okay, this is your endpoint now. Save result is my endpoint. So that can we send the request to this particular URL with this data? With this data, can we send it? Okay, send. How we can send it? Can anyone guess? By using fetch method or by using 𝕳𝕦𝕟𝕜 request you can use it. Can we use the fetch method for the post request now? Fetch is the method. Okay, the URL. This is my URL. Last one is going to change. Fetch is the method. This is my URL. The last part is going to change. Which part? Get questions for test. No. Save results. Save results. Yes. Okay, and then it's take one object as an argument. My method is like what? Post is the method. My body. Now the data. Okay, the data we can pass in this format. Here also we can pass like a string format only. Okay, this data object. Okay, and then you have to tell my headers is like what? My content type. My headers. My content type. Somewhere you used this one. Can anyone guess where we used in the end-to-end flow? At the time of saving this one, see this, my content type application JSON. Okay, this one you have to use here. My headers is like what? It's an object. My content type is like what? Application JSON. Application JSON. Yeah. Understand? So for good. Okay, returns me what? One promise. With what? Raw data. So that can be written with what? By converting an understandable format with JSON. Now my JSON also returns me what? Promise only, guys. So that this is your actual data or not. This is your actual result. So that can be things like console.log of data. Okay, I don't want to show message. Okay, save your result successfully or not. It's not required for me. Not required. Just I want to show that. That's it. Okay, console.log of. Okay, this is your failure data. Okay, done. Now can we write the test now? Okay, here I'm going to write like a Sachin. Okay, if I click on the submit, yeah, my test ready now. Okay, how to update the state variable by using set state. React.from DOM render method take how many arguments? Okay, element, fallback, content reference. Okay, is the premise mode. Okay, here it's wrong. Okay, this one below which life cycle method we are using. Okay, already completed. Score 3, correct or not? Set state correct. This one is correct. Mode is correct. This one is wrong. this I didn't attempt. So that my score is like 3. Now can you come here? Can you browse? Can you check it? Yes. My name is like undefined. My marks is like 3, and my date is like this one. My name is going like undefined. My name is going like undefined. Why my name is going like undefined? That is my question. Why that name is going like undefined? Can we test it now? Now first check the data going to the server or not. Which data? Name, marks, and another one is what? Name, marks, and date. Okay, that data is going to the server or not? First check it. Okay, again write the test. Okay, that questions name Sachin on submit. Okay, this is the one. How many types? Where component created or what reference component this one. Okay, body, that state. Okay, props. Yes. Okay, 4 to 5. Now see this, save results. One request go to the server. Inside this headers, can you check my data is going or not? See, date and marks are going. Date and marks are going, but my name is not going. That is the problem. Okay, this means that this dot name is not there. Function save results. Function save results. Can you bind your current object? Did you bind it? You bind, right? That is the problem. If not bind, then the time how you can get my this. Okay, this dot function save result equals this dot function save result dot bind of my current object is or not. Okay, here my function click is binded or not. Can you check? Function click is binded or not. This 2.jsx, my function click binded. Okay, this is not binded. Okay, okay. Now test again. Yes, save results. Yeah, my name is going now. Okay, can we check now? Yes, this says 1, and you can get like the date is this one or not. Understand or not? Okay, now my application development is completed. Okay, my application development is completed. Now, what is the next level? Once your development is completed, what is the next level? What we have to do the next? What we have to do the next? My development is completed, then the time you have to test your application. Yes, the testing also completed. It's working as expected. Everything is okay. The next one. The next one. You should have to deploy your code or not. You should have to deploy your code. You should have to deploy your code in your server or not. Deployment is nothing but what? Moving your code from your local machine to your server memory or not. Okay, you can deploy this code in your AWS. In this time, just I want to create an EC2 instance. I want to create an EC2 instance. Okay, I want to deploy this one where inside EC2 instance. Okay, now come here, close everything. My development is completed. Okay, done. First of all, if you want to commit the code, make sure you should have to check. Okay, debugger should not be there. Any debuggers are there? Can you check it first in your application? In your application, do you have any debuggers? Okay, there is no debuggers. Okay, now our program and everything is completed. The code wise, everything is good. I will not write any piece of code now. Okay, just it's like deployment only. It's like some steps you have to follow. That's it. Okay, just do it. First, log in into AWS Amazon.com console. Log in into this particular one. Okay. Into the particular one. Sign into the console. Okay. If you want to deploy, if you want to run this application out of your machine, what things are required? Which environment is required? Tell me. Which environment is required? Okay. The environment should have to support for your React as well as Node as well as MySQL or not. Three things are required. So far, this application is running in my machine. Those three things are there in my machine. Now, that particular one should run out of my machine. It's nothing but what? Those three things should be inside that machine also or not. Yes or no? Okay. Now click on this. Yes. So this is your console. This is your console for AWS. This is your console for AWS. Okay. Now, first of all, create the database. I want to create the database here. I want to create a database instance here. If you want to create a database instance here, just search for the services here. Okay, I already searched all these services so that by default recently visited services visible. For you, it's not visible. Okay, for you, it's not visible. So that here, just write like RDS, relational data service here. Okay, relational database service. Relational database service. RDS is the service. Just click on this. Just click on this. RDS. Okay, I'm pasting your chart. Okay, in your chart, written, just check it. RDS is the service. Okay, I will give you the steps also, no problem. Okay, see this here. RDS is the one. Now I want to create my database, right? So create database. Click on that. Click on that. It's a very simple thing. Just it's a matter of configuration only. Now see this. Standard create or easy create, he said, just select standard only. My RDS provides these many services for the database services: Amazon, Aurora, and MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, Oracle, and MySQL Server. Okay, Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, which one is ours now? MySQL. Click on the MySQL one. Okay, come down. See this. It's a configuration, more than that, nothing. Whatever the version he suggested, keep that one only. Production, dev, test, and free tier. Okay, make sure select this free tier. Why? Because I'm using a free tier version. Okay, free tier only. My account is like a free tier. I'm not paying any amount. Okay, database instance name. Okay, you can put like any name. Okay, MyDB or something. MyDB. Don't think like my school database. Don't think like this. It's a database server name. Okay, database server name. Okay, here my password and username you can give it. Admin is my username. Admin is my username. Password I am going to put like admin123 dollar. Admin123 dollar. Okay, here also admin123 dollar. Okay, username and password. Now come here. I am not changing anything. Okay, come down, come down. Everything is like same only. Okay, never change anything. Okay, here public access, just put like a yes, put like yes. Okay, and then VPC security group is there. This is an important one. Okay, security group. Okay, this security group you have to add it. Okay, this security group you have to add it. Okay, one of the group already there, I guess. Okay, React Node Unix, React Node this one. Okay, one group. Okay, this security group where I can find, you can ask the question. Okay, you should have to create one security group. You should have to create one security group. Can we go there first, and then we can we come here? Okay, AWS. No problem. It's a matter of 2 seconds. Okay, EC2. Okay, otherwise click on this database one. Okay, see here. Here, come down, come down, come down. Security groups, security groups. Okay, here these many security groups are there. I created. Okay, don't worry, don't think about that one. Okay, just create your own security group. Create a security group for what? MySQL is my security group. Okay, MySQL is running on one of the port number. It's like 3306. Okay, that one we can add later. That one we can add later. Now create a security group. Okay, here description to connect with my MySQL. Okay, connect with MySQL. Create a security group. See, simple. I created a security group. Now come to RDS. RDS. Come to RDS. Yes. Now, yes. Yes. Create a database. Create a database. Okay, standard edition MySQL. Standard edition MySQL. Okay, I don't want to change this one. Okay, retail. The database is like MyDB. Admin $123 is my password. Admin $123 is my password. DB instance, I don't want to change it. Okay, I don't want to change it. I don't want to change it. Yes, public access. Now come to the security group. Now just create a MySQL. See this, that security group came here. Just select that one. Okay, this default one, leave it. This is my security group for this particular DB. Okay, password authentication only I want. I want to connect with this one. Password authentication only I want to use it. Okay, just create the database. Yes, now my database instance is creating now. My database instance is creating. Okay then. Now I want to connect with this DB. If you want to connect with MySQL database, you have one tool is there. Okay, one tool. Okay, MySQL Workbench is the tool. MySQL Workbench. By using this MySQL Workbench, you can connect with your databases. Okay, which database? MySQL database. I already told, right? Okay, this is my database. This is my database which is running in my local. I want to connect by using MySQL Workbench also. Okay, how we can connect? Say this. Okay, it takes some time creating. MySQL Workbench. Yes, so open. This is my local one. I want to delete it. I want to show it again. Okay. Okay. Now, MySQL, read it. Welcome to MySQL Workbench. MySQL Workbench is an official graphical user interface. It's a GUI tool for MySQL. Just graphical user representation is nothing but simply you can view your tables and everything. See here. It's also one type of graphical user representation only. It's a MySQL PHP admin, MyAdmin. This is also one type of graphical user interface only. This is given by PHP MyAdmin. Same like this, by using this one also I can view it. How we can view means just click on this one. I want to connect. This is my local DB, local MySQL. Okay, host name is what? Localhost. My port number 3306. Okay, this is my root. Okay, can we connect it? First check test connection. Okay. Now connect continue in email. Successfully made SQL connection. Okay, now it's set okay. Now this is the one to connect with your local MySQL. Now double click on that one. Say this. Are you able to connect or not? Okay, see the schemas and everything. Okay. All came or not? All came. This is only right. It was inside my table. My questions. Okay. See, these many questions are there. This is my result. Okay. this is the one or not. Like this, I can connect. I can connect with my local database. Same like this, can I connect out of my local database, MySQL only by using Workbench? Yes, we can connect. Now, by using MySQL Workbench, I want to connect MySQL database, which is running out of my machine. Okay, how we can find it's like out of mission? If it is running in my machine, it's like a local host. Out of my machine is like that particular mission. Okay, that particular database URL is required. That's it. Okay, that one we have to come here. This is the one. Yes, still it's creating database. Now refresh my page. Meanwhile, can we go to my AWS? I have some instances. Okay, I want to delete that instance. Yes, my DB instance one created. Okay, it's preparing. Now it's creating. Now it's creating. Now, if I click on the MyDB, okay, it gives me the database information. Now, see this. Okay, endpoint URL it's going to provide and port number it's going to provide. By using that URL and port number only, we are going to connect. We are going to connect. Okay, this is your security group. Okay, this is your security group. This one, security group. All these things will be visible in few minutes. Okay, still it's creating more. That's the problem. Okay then. Now you have this data, right? Okay, this is my database. This is my database. Which database? Full database. This database I want to create out of my mission. In AWS, you have to create this full database or not? How many tables are there? 2 tables are there. For example, 10 tables are there. Do you want me to get one by one manually again? Already in my lower environment, one database is there. Okay, all are working as expected. The same database I want to dump into my production also. So that do you want me to create one by one? Okay, this is the field. Okay, I want in the production. This is the field I want to production. Manually, you want me to do? No. Simply, you can export this database. Simply, you can export this database. How you can export it means, okay, now go to my structure. Okay, export here. Export. Okay, this is my school, right? Okay, here export. Click on export. Okay, now here custom you can put it. See this. How many tables exported? Questions and results. My questions table structure also I want, data also I want. I don't want to again enter the data. But result I don't want the data. Why? Because who want to create, who want to write the test, that guy data only I want. For questions only I want the structure and the data. So that come down. Just oh yes. Okay, if I open this one, open this one, say this is the one. Okay, this is my questions table and these many questions inserted. This is my results table. There is no insertions, nothing. There is no insertions, nothing. Okay, this data I want to dump into where? Into my production or not? This data I want to dump into my production. Okay, now come here. Is it created or not? Okay, still it's creating. Now let's take backup. Okay, backup we are using like S3 buckets. S3 bucket, you know, right? Storage. And it's taking back only. To connect with your AWS MySQL, one tool is required. Okay, MySQL Workbench is one tool. Okay, you can find some other tools also. Okay, DB, some other tools also there. DBBR is there. That's also open source. So that one also you can use it. MySQL Workbench you can use it. Okay. HTML also you can use, and you have to change here. Okay, this is the one, right? Inside this MySQL, you have to change these configurations. In the MyINI, okay, you can find localhost. So, click on this one. Wherever the localhost is there, there you have to change with your URL. Okay, AWS URL. That one you have to. Okay, here itself it is. I think in the jump we can't. So then the jump. Yeah, now it's available. So this now status is like available or not. Now if I click on this one, okay, so this my endpoint is this one. This is not a local host. This is running here or not. This is my endpoint. Where it is running 3306 is the port number. So that can be connect now. So this is my database. Go to home, create a new connection, This is my AWS, my SQL is my name. Host name is what? Yes, this is my host name. Okay, my port number is what? My port number is like 3306. My username is what? My username is like a admin or not. Now, test it. Test the connection. Now it should not. Okay, it will not connect with your MySQL database. Why? Because you should have enabled some port numbers in your security group. Okay, just wait for some time. At least it gives some error. Yeah, failed to connect with this server. It gives me error like this. What is the problem? Okay, the security group is not allow you to connect from outside with that port number. So that go to your security group. This is your URL, right? Okay, go to your AWS. EC2. Security groups is this one, and inside the security group, this is your MySQL one or not. Click on this MySQL. Now here my inbound rule you have to add it. So that click on edit inbound rule. Okay, here add a rule. Okay, here see custom CTP port range you have to give it like 3306. Okay, 3306. Okay, here anywhere I want to connect with this port number. Just save this rule. Yes. Okay, now I want to connect from anywhere, okay, to this port number. which is running inside this particular AWS server. Now come here. Now add it. Now add it. This is my host name 3306. This is my admin. Here, this is my AWS MySQL. Now test connection. Will it work or not? Can you check it? Yeah, it's asked like a password. What is the password you given at the time of creating that instance? Admin $123 is given. Okay, save password and okay. Now test connection. Yes, successfully made MySQL connection. Now said okay. Now click on this. Click on this. Now see, you are connecting with not your database. You are connecting with your AWS. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, I'm back. Now say this. This is the one. This is the GUI representation for your MySQL, which is running where? Which is running in your AWS or not. But here the default one schema is nothing but one database is there. Okay, just leave it. Now can we create your own database? Okay, can you create your schema? Okay, here. Okay, directly we can run this one. Okay, already we have, right? Okay, this is the one, right? Anywhere create database is there? Not there. You have to create that database now. No connections. Can you find the schema somewhere? Create new table, create new schema. Okay, what's my schema name? School is my schema. School. Okay, apply. Okay, apply. Finish. Okay, my school schema created. This is my school schema. Inside this school schema, I want to create some tables, right? Can we execute this code? Here. Now come here. Okay, whatever the things are there, copy and paste. See here, highlighted is like school. That means that school database in the okay, which mode? Okay, active mode. Now Can we execute this one? So now control A, execute the selected. Now see this. Yeah, everything is executed. Yes, done. Okay. Now can I refresh? Can I refresh? My tables, two tables created. Now see my questions. My questions are like this. There has 7 questions or 8 questions should be there. Yes. All are there or not. In the result, I take only the structure, not data. So that only structure is visible there. See this. This is the one or not. Is my database is done. Everything is okay. Okay. Okay then. What is the next one? Can anyone guess? The next one. You have to deploy our Node.js code as well as the next one is what? Our Node.js code as well as our React code, React build code. So if you want to deploy, one mission is required, right? So that can we ask one mission to my AWS? Can we create one mission inside AWS? Okay, the mission is nothing but one instance, that's it. So that can you go to my EC2? Okay, how many instances are running now? No instances, nothing. Create launch instance. Create launch instance. Okay, launch instance. Now see here. If you observe in this particular one, see this. How many free tiers are available? It's an Amazon Linux mission they provided. Okay, if you want the Windows Red Hat mission they provided. Windows mission, okay, it's also Linux, it's also Ubuntu, Windows. Which mission you want? Okay, these all are like free tier eligible, free tier. Okay, that one only you can select. Otherwise, okay, they deduct some amount from your account. Okay, so that I want to take like a Linux mission. Okay, so that free tier eligible is this one, right? Select. Okay, see your mission configurations and everything, how it looks like. Okay, T2 micro. Okay, free tier eligible. Only by default it's selected. Don't change it. Okay, configuration. Next. Number of instances I want to create. Number of missions. How many missions you want? Only one mission. Okay. Next, add storage. For this mission, I'm asking like 8 GB is enough for me. Okay. The next one, tags. If you want any tag, you can put the tag. Okay. Now I don't want the tags. Next one is like configuration security group. Configuration security group. Here, see this. Create a new security group or select existing security group. Already existing security groups, Linux, MySQL is there. Okay. This is the React Node Unix is there, right? I already created. Okay. This one I can use it. Okay. It's like security group. How you create in MySQL, same like this one. I will show you. Okay. That particular one I want to use. That security group I want to use it. So review and launch. Okay. And then launch. Now here they are going to ask like select a key pair. What is this key pair? You are the right person to connect with this UC2 instance, connect with this mission or not. Like this, I want to check it. For that, private and public keys are required. See, create a new key pair. Okay, here you can write your name. Okay, any name addition. Download a key pair. Okay, it's like a PAM is downloading. I don't want PAM. Okay, I want to create a normal key pair. Okay, so that create a new key pair. Okay, now cancel this one. I want to create one key pair. Okay, same like security group, I want to create a key pair. So before that only we have to do all these things. Click on EC2. Okay, security groups. Go to security groups. Okay, MySQL already there. Okay, this is not required. This one is not required for us. This one is not required for us. Okay, that means move this one. which one is not required, just delete that security group. Okay, this is also not required for me. Okay, now this is the default one, you are not able to remove. This is the MySQL one, don't remove. This is the React Node Unix one. Okay, see this inside the security group. Okay, I allowed a port number is like 22. It's a default port number, and this one is like you can all topic. Okay, you see this port number from anywhere you can connect. From anywhere you can connect. Like this, you have to do. Okay, just you have to add inbound route. You have to add inbound route. Okay, if you don't want also, I can show you. Okay, go to your security groups. Go to your security groups. Delete this one also, no problem at all. Delete this one also. Okay, we can add it. Actions, delete security group. Delete. Okay, now only MySQL security group is there. This is the default one. Now key pairs. Key pairs. Okay, this narration ID is there. Delete it. Delete it. Okay, another key pair also there. Delete it. Okay. No key pairs, nothing is there. Can we create the key pair now? Create a key pair. I want to create an array ID. Okay, the PP key is the private key. Okay, this is the one, private and public keys. For this, if you want to connect with FileZilla like this or WinSCP, okay, then the time we can use like this PPK one. Create a key pair. Create a key pair. Create a key pair. Now it's downloaded. See, my narration ID PPK is downloaded. Okay, show in folder. Just take this one, cut it. Cut this one. Cut this one and paste here. Okay, paste where my rename. This is the private key. Okay, I want to use this one only to my EC2 instance to connect with that machine. So that now come to your instances, EC2 dashboard. Go to instances. Go to instances. Create launch instance. Okay, that means you are creating one mission now. Okay, the first one is select. Okay, the next one is like E2 macro. How many instances you want? Only one. The storage is like 8 GB is enough. Tags, nothing. Configuration group. Okay, create a new security group. I want to create a new one. What is that? React Node. React Node. Okay, see, by default, this is the one. This is the port number they are going to give. Just next one is like launch. Okay, now see this already created one key pair, right? Naresh IT. Okay, that name you can use it. Okay, I acknowledge launch instance. Yes. View instances. Okay, see this that has terminated. Just now I deleted these two. This is my instance. My instance. Now this is the FileZilla. I connected with what? With my GoDaddy mission, right? Now I want to connect with my AWS mission. That's it. Now my instance is running. Now, if you want to connect with that one, see this public IP4 DNS is there, right? This one you have to use. This is the private, don't use. This is the one. If you want to connect with your EC2 instance, EC2 instance is about AWS mission. Okay, so that you can use it. So by using FileZilla, how we can means just come here. See, this one is this one. It's a GoDaddy one. Okay, this is another one. I want to create a new site. I want to create a new site. Okay, which one? I want to connect with this mission. This is my port name. The port number is like what? 22. Okay, the username is like EC2 user is my username. If you want to come, you can check. See this. Where is my instances? This is my instance, right? Click on this one, connect. Click on this one, connect. Then the time it gives you the username and password and everything. this is my username or not. EC2 user is my username. If you want to change this one, you can change it, but I don't want to change EC2 hyphen user. EC2 hyphen user. EC2 hyphen user is my user. Okay. The next one is like password. Okay. The site name is like another one. The next one is like password. Where is my password? Okay, you can connect with my file manager, this 𝕨𝕐𝕟𝕚 or 𝕨𝕒𝕟𝕚𝕟. These are like site managers. Okay, then now come here. I want to create my own password somewhere. Yes. Trying to connect. Okay, no problem. Okay, you can say okay. Now come here. This is my new site. Okay, this is my port number, and this is my port number. This is my URL. This is my user. Okay, somewhere private PPK key they may ask. Okay. Did not connect to the server. Okay. Give the name. How can give the name? The anonymous is nothing but username and password is not there. Normal is nothing but this one. Ask for password. Ask for password. Correct to account. Like normal one. Yes. Instance. Okay. Connect. Okay. This is the one, right? Can you use that security group? Can you check it for your instance? Okay, what is the security group? Maybe that's not allow. Okay, the security group. This is my security. This is my security group. Okay, can we allow him from anywhere so that can we add inbound rule? Add a rule. Okay, custom TCP port range from anywhere. From anywhere. Save this rule. Okay, from any port number, it's going to connect. Okay, now can we come here? Can you come here? The one TCP user. Okay, can we connect it? Yes, everything. The AWS CLI also we can, but from my local machine has to connect, right? Okay, in a CP. Okay, this is also the thing is like this is also used for what this is also used for to connect with external servers. Okay, external machines. In a CP also software is like 𝕨𝕐𝕟𝕚 only. Okay, this one. Now see this new session. These many sessions are there. New site, mine, listen, Windows like this. Okay, this one you can delete it. This is not required for me. Delete it. Yes. Okay, this Windows one also you can delete it. Yes. This is the vision. Okay, vision is nothing but okay. Every day I am uploading, right? If I click on the login, connect with your GoDaddy server series. Connect with your GoDaddy. See, your UI JavaScript.com, everything is there, right? Same like this, we can connect with your AWS one. So new site. The host name is what? The host name is this one. host name is this one. Control C. This is my host name. Okay. Port number is this one. My password is to user it my username and save it. Save like a AWS. You can say like okay. Now your private key is there, right? That private key you can add here like this. Okay. Private key. You are the right person or not? Okay. By seeing this one only, we can understand. Okay. Private key added. Okay. Okay. Now save it. Now can I click on log? Yes. Now see this authenticated with Naresh IT, and this is your EC2 instance mission. This is your mission. Okay, which mission? My AWS people what they provided, that is this mission. Understand or not? Okay, here somewhere we should have to deploy our code. Okay, deploy our code and we have to run it. Okay, we'll see these things in tomorrow's class. Okay, so far you can create from your end what you have to create. Just you can create one EC2 instance, one RDS instance. Inside the RDS instance, just create like 2 tables. Okay, dump your local data into the table. EC2 instance just create and try to connect with your WinSCP or FileGel or Putty. Okay, Putty is nothing but this is also software to connect with your external servers. Okay, this is the one. Okay, which server you want me to connect? With this server, right? Okay, this is my server. Okay, port number is 22 only. Okay, save it. Okay, save is like AWS. Save it. This is my AWS. This is my, you can delete it. This is my AWS one. Load. This is the one. Here, go to SSH. Okay, this is my authentication. Here, you can write. You can take your public key. Where is that? My desktop. This is my Naresh IT and open. Now see this. This is like Putty. My username is what? EC2 user. Now see, like this you can connect. Okay. If you know all these commands, Linux commands, then that time you can play with this. You can play with this. Okay. We'll see remaining things in tomorrow's class. Tomorrow at what time you will? Is it okay for evening? Tomorrow evening? Or if people are okay? Tomorrow evening? Or even not evening? Okay, night, 8 o'clock like that. 8 p.m. 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Okay, then we'll see remaining things on Monday. Thanks guys, thanks for joining. I will upload this one. You can download.